guys, it's Shane,
And Zach.
and we're back for our second episode. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm alright, I'm a little sick.
Yeah, you sound a little nasally.
Yeah, I'm planning on coughing a lot today, so.
Yeah, we apologize for that.
No, be excited for that.
Oh, be excited for that?
That's a little bonus.
Oh, an extra, just a little bit of Zach.
Yep. Stop that. it's a lot better than we thought.
Yeah.
You just gotta have the clap first, and it'll be a whole thing.
And we are sticking with Stop That from now on now.
Yeah, so we were still discussing names for the podcast before this episode, but I think 2 claps and a Stop That seems like it's the best fit ever.
Yep, it's us.
I told you, Stop That was what you should do.
Yeah, I was feeling a little reluctant to go with it, but it's starting to grow on me. It's just starting to become a virus and stick to my heartstrings. And
like a tumor spreading throughout your body.
It's slowly killing me.
Yep, I love it.
That's the world that we're in. Okay, so today on my break from work, I haven't seen Zach in like a week because he's had a couple days off from work and I've been doing my own thing at work. And so I was on my break and I heard this loud boom.
A poom?
A poom. It was a poom. And I looked over. It was because we're in a parking lot because most fast food places are in parking lots.
That's where they usually put things.
Yep. No parking structure this time.
Just parking lot.
Just a parking lot.
All right.
And I looked over, and it was like a little hatchback crossover Toyota piece of shit, and it was an old man and his old wife, and they had hit the curb and popped the tire. Ooh. And so they kept driving and driving throughout the parking lot, trying to find an open area to change the tire. Yeah. And I looked at the old man, and he looked old. Just bitter.
Like his leg was gonna fall off when he started trying to jack it up or something?
Let's just say he had the veteran hat on for Vietnam. So he's
thanks for the Vietnam hat. I was like, oh, veteran hat doesn't seem old. Oh, Vietnam, that makes sense.
He was a grandpa. And so I finished up my food because I was eating In-N-Out, and I'm not gonna leave my food there because
it's gonna get thrown away. That's a waste of like $5.
And it's gonna be all cold. I don't want to come back and have cold In-N-Out. And so I went over there after I finished eating because I was hungry. And
you awful person.
I know.
That's worse. Helping other people after eating. Clearly, you're supposed to stop everything to help this man change his tire.
So I went over there, and so the tire that was under maintenance.
Mm-hmm. That's the one you're going for?
Man, that was awful.
Under pressure is what I thought you were going to say.
Under pressure.
Under pressure. I don't know the next line. Weighing down on me or something like that. I
don't know. I need to call up David Bowie and ask him.
You got his number?
Yeah.
Hit me up with that. I'd like to sing of my terrible versions of his songs.
Speaking of David Bowie, there's a rumor that he's going to be playing with the Gorillaz on the next album.
What?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited too.
That sounds way better than anything we're going to talk about today. You just fill all the time with that?
If they would release it
yeah,
right
okay.
now.
So when that comes out, we'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
back to your tire maintenance. Tire maintenance.
Thanks for the pause.
The callback.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Anytime.
So it was the passenger front tire, like I said, and he was in the process of lifting it with the jack, I guess. I don't know.
So he's lifting the car up with the jack.
Well, it's the shitty jacks that come with the car.
Oh, the one you crank that takes like 8 minutes?
Oh, those are awful. But he had it under the wrong spot, so he was just cranking with all of his might. I was afraid he was going to break his back.
He's probably going to break his transmission, too.
Well, if he had it underneath his transmission.
I thought I'm saying he might have had it underneath.
No, it was it was still underneath a frame point, but it was just on wrong. It was on an angle.
Oh, so
it could have snapped and killed him or whatever. And so I had to lower it all the way back down, and then put it in the right spot. And I changed all his tire and all that, did it for him. He's very grateful. He's like, God bless you, son. I'm like, you too. Because, I don't have the power to...
You're not going to say something.
Well, yeah. It's just I don't have the power to be like, God bless you, because I can totally I have the power over an omnipotent creature,
Oh, I was thinking more so, how do you respond to that?
I just said you too. I think that's a good response.
That seems like a fair response. I was like, what's the problem here? But that makes sense, because you can't control...
Yeah. Because I don't know if there's a God out there.
God up there, bless this man specifically for changing that tire.
Yeah, just smite him. Anyways, I had a gripe.
With kindness. Smite him with kindness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the form of a lightning bolt.
Of happiness.
Yes.
Something painful, but also good.
Why not? No, he's an okay guy. He's very cordial. But my gripe, I had a small gripe about this. His wife stayed in the car.
While you were jacking it up?
Yeah. And so she was in the passenger seat right above where I was lifting the car up.
That would have added a good 100, maybe 200 pounds, depending on its
Yes.
size. And made it much more difficult to change the tire.
Yes. I was there for an extra 5 minutes because of that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was...
She couldn't stand outside of her car because it's a little
She
chilly.
Yeah, I know.
That's freaking awesome. That's hardcore. I am, old lady, good on you. You stuck to your guns.
She did.
She wasn't even going to get out for her husband. She was probably mad he hit the curb and was like, you know what? Just to spite him, I'm going to sit right here. Oh, we got someone else to do it? Well, I'm still going to make him sit outside for the next 10 minutes because I'm going to sit right here. That's what this lady.
I appreciate that backstory you just gave her.
Yep. She's a bad person. He has the power over God.
Mm-hmm.
They're the power couple of the universe.
And if they die, the universe dies with it.
Just
Yeah.
ends.
Well, we had a good run.
We only have a couple more.
He said he was 82 years old.
We only have a couple more minutes, guys.
That's what he started out with, actually.
Hi, I'm 82.
Yeah, because I'm like, sir, do you need help? He's like, well, I'm 82 years old. I'm like,
Well,
okay.
Whoa, that's an intense way to start. Sir, do you need help? Yes, please. I'm 82 and my back kind of hurts. I'd appreciate it.
He actually had an intense personality. Like, he said something about, like, that's like the Tits McGee or something, talking about, like, how hard it was to lift it up.
Did he actually use Tits McGee?
He said Tits something,
oh
but it was
my
longer
God,
than that.
That's so good.
It was like Titty Winkle or I don't know what.
Oh, I wish I was there so I could experience all this.
Yeah, it was something. And then like I walked in and like my hands were all just like covered in blackness. And like everyone was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Well, I just changed the tire." And they're like, "Well, good for you. You did your good deed for the day." I'm like,
You don't have to do no good deeds for today.
So that's my story of the day. It's gone a little longer than I expected it to because it was a very short story.
It was a story about you changing a tire and managed to fill 7 minutes with that.
Really?
Well, 5.
I feel like someone's knocking on your door.
Nope, just thin walls. I promise.
Do you hear the neighbors fucking?
No. I hear the babies crying, but that's
annoying.
Yeah, no, you know what? I hope that one day they have to live across from people who have 2 newborn babies.
Just continue the cycle.
Because I swear to God, this one baby is so loud. I never heard a baby cry so much. Like, I had a little brother that I helped raise.
Yeah.
I was like 13 or something like that when he was born.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, he didn't. And my sister had a son the same day, and they didn't cry together as much as that baby does. It's that bad. Like, if you hear a baby crying like in a few minutes, just know it's the baby across the way, and it's not even our next door neighbors, but our across the way neighbors.
Have you seen Eraserhead?
A what?
Or Eraserhead?
I know what an Eraserhead looks like.
Have you seen the movie?
No. What?
Yeah.
Never even heard of that movie.
So this is a movie, like it's a surrealist movie. It's made by David Lynch. He's a lot of people see him as very influential on modern film. And this movie, it's kind of a futuristic movie about this guy who basically inherits a baby. I don't remember if it was his baby. I think it was his baby.
Inherits a baby.
Yeah, because he ends up taking care of it because his
mother,
lover, I don't know what she is kind of incapable. And it's a very trippy movie. And the baby starts to deteriorate over time because like it's in the future and it has like some sort of it's like there's like radiation and it's affecting it.
So it's like depixelizing basically?
No. It's like
it's falling to ash. How would you like
melting?
Oh, like to liquid almost.
That's like it's like degrading. Like it's like part food. That's how I would describe it.
That's so weird.
I would really highly recommend this movie. It's really good and scary as fuck.
Well, I like that.
Like, it came out in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Have you seen The Elephant Man?
No, I have not seen Elephant
Have you
Man.
seen Mulholland Drive?
Apparently, I've never seen any
Have
movies
you
ever.
seen Twin Peaks?
Still no.
There's also a TV show, Twin Peaks.
Still no.
Have you seen season 3 of Louie?
Nope.
Oh my
Just
god.
keep going. Let's see how many other things I haven't seen that you need me to see.
No, that's all I got. Oh, Dune.
Dune?
Dune.
Oh, Dune.
Why are you pointing out Kaboom on Kill? We're watching Kill Bill. Why are you pointing for her butt?
No, the Kaboom cereal, it has the gun in it. It's a fun little thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She has the gun in the Kaboom
Yeah.
cereal, so it's like a little play on the cereal.
So
box.
does she have to change the cereal every time?
Every time she shoots someone?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many times she's had this issue. I feel like not that common. See, like she's getting the cereal, and then suddenly gun, bam, and she misses. She got a really bad shot there.
Well, I mean, how much practice do you have shooting? Oh, a knife. Poor Vivica.
Knife to the heart. Vivica?
Is it Vivica A. Fox? I think I'm right. I mean, you could look it up.
I'm not gonna, but I guess okay. So Vivica A. Fox got stabbed in the heart.
Oh, I don't remember her name in the movie. I just remember she's the first person that the bride kills because the bride doesn't have a name until in the second movie, which I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I thought the bride was.
No, they gave her a name, didn't they?
Well,
I think Bill actually said it in the second movie.
Towards the end, like
I don't even know.
as he dies.
No.
Oh, I love this part.
Oh.
The little girl comes in the room and she says something like, "If in 10 years you still feel like killing me,
I'll be waiting.
I'll be waiting for
yeah.
you." It's super good. I love this movie.
It's so decent, and she's cleaning the knife.
It's so decent.
She's a decent killer. She's not like.
No, she's just getting revenge on the people who killed her.
I mean, it's only fair.
Thought they killed her.
It's only fair. I think revenge is a perfectly easy motivation to go about.
And she's riding around in her pussy wagon right now. The truck.
Oh yeah.
The truck that's
I had to think about that for a second.
There's the pimped out truck that says pussy wagon on the back.
Where she learned how to walk again. Where she did her little toe.
Wiggle your big toe.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen. Has that happened in the movie yet? Or was it because I don't remember if it was sequential or not. I don't think it is.
Oh, this movie's all kinds of fucked up in terms of timelines.
Kind of like the Clone Wars.
I'm pretty sure it starts with her in dying or like being killed as the bride.
Yeah, and then they jump.
Then it cuts away to this.
And then the next scene is with her in the hospital.
Then in a little bit,
where she's getting raped.
It goes. No, she already has the pussy wagon.
No, but they have to jump back to explain why she has the pussy wagon because I haven't seen that part yet, unless it happened within the 7 minutes of me talking about my stupid tire changing experience.
Well, at this point, we're 15 minutes into the movie.
Then we may have already seen it.
I think I started it a few minutes before we started, so we probably.
I think you're right.
No. I think you're right. I think it's about to flash back right now. So, this movie's all. If you haven't seen Kill Bill, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, oh no, it's Ventrina Green, Vetnia Green was the name on the paper.
I don't like that name.
Yeah, neither do I. But you're wrong.
No, her real name is Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, is it Jessica Fox's sister?
Who's Jessica? What?
Don't ask that question.
No, I gotta know now.
Oh god, hang on. We're pausing the movie so we can check the list of actors and actresses, even though she probably doesn't have a big enough part to be listed.
I doubt it. She was in there for literally 5 minutes.
Vivica A. Fox, go fuck yourself.
I am
you
good.
Win, you motherfucker.
I am good.
All right, Shane. Good job.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks.
Actually, you get one more clap because 2 is bad.
I see. I was really surprised. Like you didn't install a clapper. I was really hoping you did.
Soon, don't worry about it.
Is it actually happening?
Amazon's a hell of a place.
Amazon is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is. So you got the new mic. Speaking of, we got a new mic. Mic quality is.
I hope hopefully it's better.
Well, up at least 5%.
Well, yeah, because last time it was on your laptop, which I listened to. It wasn't awful.
It was mediocre.
Yeah,
it's good for Skype.
It's better than my laptop. I guarantee my laptop was even worse.
Isn't your laptop like a 3-year-old version of mine? Like literally the same laptop, but 3 years older?
Yeah.
What? Of course it's worse. What, are they going to install the worst one on the newer
Exactly.
one? I don't know about that, but
Does she ever use those sunglasses on her dashboard in her car?
Yeah, she uses the black ones. She puts the sunglasses on when she's actually outside in the next part.
Wait, that was not her car.
No, she has glasses exactly like that though.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Either way, doesn't matter that much. This is way back when. This is a flashback. One of the 1,000 in this movie.
There's quite a few. And, okay, so We had recently referenced Fahrenheit 451. I haven't finished it, but I'm at least 10 pages into the book. I've been introduced to the main character, I forget his name, and you've been introduced to Clarice, who is some creepy girl who hangs out outside in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And that's as far as I've gotten.
Oh, have you been enjoying the writing style so
Yes,
far?
I enjoy it. Well, because I've read Ray Bradbury before in Martian Chronicles. I've read that.
Oh,
I really enjoyed that.
That's a decent read.
It is. It's very in depth and it's all over the place because it's a bunch of short stories stuck together. But it's good.
You know, last time we were talking about 451, I was actually also partly confused with some of the things I was saying with 1984. My brain was kind of splitting them into I guess splicing them together.
That's not a bad thing.
I don't know. They're kind of very similar dystopian futures,
right?
And the writing style is similar enough where you can kind of confuse it.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked about the Top Police, and that's 1984.
Yes, you're right.
Fahrenheit 451 was more.
It's the firefighters.
Well, yes, but it was more so about like the books and like the whole knowledge being spread, less so about like the whole
being controlled,
mm-hmm. Which I kind of got. I don't know.
It is kind of the same concept.
Well, I think it's same
motivation.
They could have started from the same one paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Like Big Brother, start a story about like a dystopian future where the government controls everything, and then these could have been two separate stories coming from one. What's the word?
Paragraph.
No, fuck you. That's not what I mean. No, a prompt from one prompt. They could have come from the same prompt.
Yeah. That's the one. Prompt is better than paragraph.
That's the word I was looking for, but you just said paragraph even though I already used that sentence a minute before. You're just so helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Did you notice my shirt?
I did. So it's probably one of the best Adventure Time shirts I've ever seen.
So I don't know if you guys are aware of Edvard Munch and the Scream, the painting The Scream.
It's the one of the lady who's screaming. It's really
It
famous.
Well, I thought it was a man.
It's a lady or a man having the hands to the face and screaming. It's all like warped.
Most people know it. You can look it up.
But it's a picture of Finn instead, just doing the scream, and he has his little house in the background, and Jake's just kind of waving.
Yes.
Finn's a human, Jake's a dog, and the tree house is their house, made out of a tree.
Adventure Time is one of the best shows ever, hands down.
Oh, look, there we go. Now we're in the hospital where she gets raped. Well,
I think maybe. Did we get past the raping?
No, it's coming up. Because right now she's walking in, tells him that she's dead, leaves her body in the hospital, and she's whistling the whistle that she does.
Yeah.
I think you actually got it on point. You're doing the whole gaps too. Like your lips were moving with her lips. Pretty fantastic.
But what sucks is I can't whistle outward. I can only whistle inward.
I can't whistle, so fuck you.
Oh,
I told you about the Peppa Pig thing, right?
No.
The whistling?
No.
Okay, so there's Peppa Pig is a TV show for children about a pig and her pig family, and her other like friends and stuff are like rabbits and shit.
Does she have a pig dog?
No shit. They don't have a pet. The pigs are humans. Like if anything, the
Do
dog
they have
would be
pet humans?
A human would be a pet, but that's not the point.
That'd be so cool.
So Peppa Pig was a story. One of the episodes was about. I watched this with my little brother one time. He's younger. So she's standing there, complaining to her mother about how she can't whistle because her friends can whistle but she can't. So she calls up her other friend on the phone, has her mom call her mom, and then they talk. And she's talking to her about how she can't whistle, and the other girl's like, "Oh, well, I don't know what that is." And then Peppa's like, "Oh, that's great. I'm glad you can't whistle." "Well, I'm not glad you can't whistle. I'm glad that we're the same." And like 2 seconds later, she's like, "Well, what is whistling anyway?" She's like, "Well, it's when you put your lips together and blow." And like a second later, you hear a perfect whistle from the other girl. Just like, I can't even whistle, dude. And she just whistles fucking perfectly. And then all of a sudden you just see Peppa hang up the phone. There's not even like a goodbye, it's just boom, and it's like the dial tone too. And then the other girl's left on the line. She's like, "Peppa," with their British ass accent.
Is it a British show?
Yeah, it's super British.
They're British
They
pigs?
all have accents. It's
I love this.
Well, it's called Peppa Pig, not Pepper Pig. Peppa.
Do they say Peppa instead of pepper?
No, like it's spelled P-P-A, Peppa Pig. But it's just the way they say it. It's like Peppa. It's as if a British person said pepper.
Is this where she wakes up and kills her?
No, she doesn't. No, she's asleep. She's in a coma. This is the. I like her nurse eye bandage. Like
You're
that
right.
would, like that's a thing that would pass in a hospital as a nurse. If someone
Seriously.
fucking had that on their
Seriously.
eyeball, it'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You don't look like a nurse. You look like a crazy person who's like, you look like a Halloween costume
Like, yeah, like a
version
nurse
of a
stripper.
nurse. Like, there's no one here who thinks that that's what a nurse looks like.
And yet she got in just. Is she dosing her with poison? I forget.
Yeah, she says, my gift to you. And then she's trying to kill her. So she's going to give her the poison. And then Bill calls her and she's like, for fuck's sake. Like, she gets so pissed off because all she wants to do is kill her.
So, basically, Bill killed himself.
What?
Bill killed himself. He called her, setting the events for her to live. He killed himself.
Yeah, well, I feel like in a way they
Holding
all kill themselves in different ways.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So they all could have easily prevented these
Avoided
things.
it, yeah.
Had they not done the things they do. I think it's more of a... This movie's less about her getting revenge and more about people doing things wrong and getting killed because of it. Because they all underestimate her, which is the biggest issue. And then Bill never does, but by the time she gets to him, he's already lost. Like, he understands that, which is why he gets her with the truth serum, and it's... Good movies. Yeah, I forgot how much I like these, both of them.
I think I like the first one a little bit more than the second, just by a smidge.
I disagree.
Really?
I like all the fight scenes in the second more. The samurai fight scene, that whole scene where it's like an alternate animation style.
It is good.
Bill dying is probably one of the best deaths in cinematic. Like everything when she does the 5-finger thing and he just walks 5 steps. And
I feel
dies.
like they could have fought a little bit more.
They could have, but
I guess that's the point. He had already
lost.
Yeah.
No, he had given up and he lost,
Yeah.
which is why she
killed
him, and he walks away slowly, and then she leaves with her daughter, and that's the whole movie.
Well, it's their daughter, right?
Well, yeah, it's their daughter together. Technically, it's both their daughters, but he didn't know that until after he kills her. So at this point in the movie, she doesn't know, or he doesn't know, because she would have given birth and then got put into coma. Yeah. Like they would have happened simultaneously. Yeah. She gave birth at the church when she died. They basically C-sectioned the baby, if I remember correctly.
Sounds right. I haven't seen the movie.
I don't recall either, but
all I know is Quentin Tarantino is a decent man with his decent filming.
No, I think he's a really bad human being. I feel like if he was in these situations, he'd be a bad person.
Oh well,
but his darkness is what makes him.
He's channeled his darkness well.
Yeah.
Into film instead of becoming a dark person and killing people.
Yeah, so she's in a coma for 4 years.
Insect buzzing. I appreciate the subtitles. We were watching this silently because we don't want to interrupt our conversation, as well as we don't want to get what do you call it? When you have copyright infringement, we don't want that.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that shit. So then, should we jump into hell?
Oh yeah, for sure. Get straight to hell, where we both belong. So
yeah, sadly. Is that sad?
A little bit. I think we should start off with heaven because we're gonna do a smooth segue here from your conversation about the man who said God bless you because he controls God. We're gonna go straight to heaven, then we're gonna go to hell afterwards.
Okay. So we're doing the opposite of what Dante did. We are going because Dante went from.
We can call it the daunting inferno.
Yeah. Okay.
You're welcome. Okay. So I guess where do you want to start with our whole conversation?
Okay. So when you die, what do you do? Do you ascend like everyone says, or do you pop into existence in some sort of ethereal realm?
I feel like that's kind of like thinking of it as like a staircase you walk up, or like a giant heaven escalator seems really fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna I feel like the actual like if you're dying and then your soul starts fucking floating, that makes more sense than the escalator.
Well, because the escalator.
Why the hell would the escalator be? That doesn't make any sense. What?
Like, because heaven is a mall. It is the Mall of America.
It's the mall of everything. What was that? You just make a set. Anyways, I think
that's heaven in my eyes. It's fun.
Yeah. So Jewish people?
Well, I think they got it right. Maybe they got the curls. They got the face pubes. They got it all.
Face pubes
and the money
and head pubes. Actually,
they got the just body pube.
Do Jews grow good pubes?
Maybe like everywhere
Like,
else
is their other head completely pubeless? Like, I'm curious.
I'm like
Not enough to look it up, but just out there, if you know the answer, please leave a little message for us to know.
Yeah, I think the way it works is you have your head, face, body, pubes, but then in your pubic region, it's like straight hair. It's like
It's
just like metal hair that just like flows
way
with the
too
wind.
long. You can
Yep.
do a little head banging with circles and shit.
Yeah, the
Oh.
windmill, the extreme windmill. She looks like a dead person.
Well, technically, she is. She's in a coma, and she's been in a coma for 4 years.
Is he also the owner of the pussy wagon
Yeah, no, sorry, the guy.
with the cat shirt?
Actually,
cat
no.
hat?
Actually, no. I'm pretty sure it's the guy in the blue. I'm pretty sure the nurse is the pussy wagon owner.
The nurse with the nasty Vaseline.
Yeah, he says the cooch can get pretty dry, and he tosses him the grossest thing of Vaseline you've ever seen, and he says just lube it up with this. Oh God, he's so gross.
You can tell he really wants it. He's just gonna go full body. He's taking.
You are the
though.
best looking girl I've had today.
This is heaven right here.
What, girl biting your lip? Is that like full on like Jello lip? What?
Well, some people like masochism.
Yeah, but she literally bit his fucking lip off. Like, she's covered in blood, and
did he die?
I'm pretty sure she killed him with the bite. Like,
just from what do you call it? From
or
stress?
either he's shocked
shock
and passed out. Maybe he didn't die, but he's at the very least not conscious. He's on the ground.
So she can't move her legs, but she can move her arms.
So she sat up earlier. She woke up from her coma in a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Then she laid back down when she heard the guy coming in.
Right.
Because she could remember what happened. So right now, she has like upper body movement, but her legs haven't moved in so long.
I feel like you would atrophy in all body. I'm surprised she can move.
I feel like your right arm would come back first, which makes sense because that's where your heart runs to left. No, heart runs to right.
Oh, good
then
point.
Back down to right. Mm-hmm. It goes right to left. So your right arm, right leg would work before your left arm, left leg.
Which makes no sense for left-handed people. How does that work?
Left-handed dominance isn't based on your heart's blood flows.
It's just how you were trained?
I think it more has something to do with like it's definitely something mental. Like
it's brain related.
It's brain somehow. It's for sure brain related. Like there's some sort of imbalance in some sort of chemical that leads you to hell, it might even be a muscle thing where like the left arm muscle got more trained as a baby.
Yeah.
Where we can't really control it.
Oh, yes. Just slam his head into the door frame.
I don't know. I feel like it's a kind of chemical imbalance. Makes more sense than muscles, though, because then you could just retrain to be ambidextrous.
Which would be cool.
Which is not possible, as far as I know.
No,
you can train to be partially, but you can never be as dominant. You can't have, I don't think, 100% in equal hands. I don't think it's physically
What happens if you like focus on one other hand so much so that it becomes the dominant hand and then the other hand isn't used anymore?
I feel like that might be considered more like a 75% left hand, and then the right hand's just so weak it's not as good as the 75%. So it's more like a confirmation bias.
So when you have kids...
So you need to do a fucking giant-ass study.
Yeah, so when you have kids, you should give one kid... You should focus on their right hand.
What if one's already left-handed, though?
Then fine, let them focus on left-handed.
No, I'm saying, like, what if I don't know and he's already predisposed to left-handed because of chemicals? You need a lot more people in a study than just two.
So every day, you should have them write with one hand, and then the next day,
And there's the possibility of them both being ambidextrous is very small. Because it's like a very low chance.
You're not having very much faith in your kids.
Nope.
Oh, like how sad.
Honestly... I know how I am, and I know my kids. You grow up to be your parents, so let's just leave it at that. You grow up to become your parents. No matter what you do or say, you will marry someone either exactly like your parents in every way, and you won't notice it until it's too late. Mm-hmm. This is a subconscious thing completely. It's not like you're looking for your fucking mom. It's just a thought that is in the back of your head always. Mm-hmm. You're looking for someone. If your mother was nurturing, you're basically going to try to find that. Or if they were not nurturing and they were like, you're going to find the opposite of what they were.
Right.
So
it's Freudian in a way, but he had his own problems.
Freudian he had a bunch of confirmation bias too. He did his own fucking things.
He was all over the place, yeah.
I did a child development class. We learned about him, and I was just like, he's a wackadoo. Like, he's just got
Yeah.
nothing going on for his life, so he just kind of started making up things.
Wasn't he a cocaine addict?
I don't know about that.
I know
We didn't talk about that much in the child development class.
I think because like he always gave shit for people having addiction, and I'm pretty sure he was a cocaine addict.
Well, I don't think he gave them shit. I think he more blamed it on their childhood raising. I think he was finding his problems in his past and not owning up to them.
And so he put his problems on other people.
Or either that, or it's more like you can think about what a sociopath is, but you don't have to necessarily be a sociopath to realize that. Does that make? Or you can be a sociopath and register that other people are that.
But you don't recognize it in yourself.
I don't know. You could I guess the best way to describe that would be like
Dexter.
No, not because Dexter saw himself as a sociopath, but he also understood he was doing it for the good only because
he was told this.
He was told that. He wasn't. He already knew he would do it to anyone anyway.
Yeah.
He didn't have like a care before he killed someone.
Mm-hmm.
He accidentally had it happen, and then later on, his dad trained him to be a good guy.
Also, if you watch Dexter, watch it up until the 5th season.
No, just stop.
Yeah, just stop at the 4th season finale.
When the baby's born, watch one more season, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just watch the one season with the baby, and you're good.
Yeah.
Because that was a good season.
With John Lithgow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite season.
And baby, Rita baby.
Yeah, it was perfect. And then they don't watch anymore.
They just pooped on it. They took a big old poop.
They caught up to the writer, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to write our own thing. And unlike Fullmetal Alchemist, they didn't do a very good job.
Have you seen Brotherhood? Brotherhood was much better.
It is, but I enjoy both of them.
That's true, but the ending of Fullmetal Alchemist, the original version,
mm-hmm.
the very last episode was dumb.
I agree.
You can't just go to an alternate world. That's stupid.
Yeah, no, it is dumb.
The ending episode of Brotherhood was the most great, like the greatest ending to an anime I've ever seen.
Now I want to watch this again. That was a great show. I binged it in 2 weeks.
So, in Brotherhood, the difference was instead of they were always trying to bring his brother back to life. He was mm-hmm. stuck in a robotic body because of alchemy, which was just transferring elements into other things. You could kind of
like from lead to gold. That's like the classic example of alchemy.
You can change one object into another
mm-hmm.
as long as there's enough energy and element there.
Yeah.
So there's always got to be equal exchange.
Exactly.
No matter which way you're going.
Exchange. That's the biggest thing.
So the only way to bring someone back is by killing people.
Right.
Or a sacrifice equally great. So
mm-hmm.
in the end of the first series, they kill a bunch of people, get something called a Philosopher's Stone, which is basically dead bodies in a stone.
Mm-hmm.
And they use that as an energy to do unlimited alchemy. Because it makes sense that all that human flesh and blood would add.
There's a lot of sacrifice, so you have to use it in some sort of way.
In a way.
Mm-hmm.
In the second series, they use their knowledge to, like, basically they give up their gift of being able to do that,
mm-hmm.
and all their knowledge that they've ever learned about that in order to bring it back. So it was an equivalent exchange in that their knowledge was greater than their being,
mm-hmm.
which is a really interesting ending.
My only gripe about the second season is the animation is not nearly as good as the first series.
True. However, I feel like they improved towards the end. The fights weren't as good. The fights were never as good.
No.
In Brotherhood.
No.
But they also had more story to work with, so it didn't hurt it.
Would you recommend this to the viewers?
I'd only recommend it if you like anime. It's a tough. I mean, it's probably the most generic anime to get into, but if you're not going to be able to sit through it,
I don't think that's a good anime to jump into if you haven't seen anime before.
No, like if you're a fan of anime, go watch it. In
Absolutely.
fact, you already have watched it.
Yeah, you probably have.
But
you should have by now. Also, speaking of anime,
the fight scene in Kill Bill, when it's an animated version of what happened in the past for the Japanese girl who basically has flashbacks in anime, is a really cool concept because they do it in the second movie too, where she flashes back and it's
mm-hmm.
another version of this.
Mm-hmm. This version of animation is amazing. This is a form of anime. I feel the art style is very much an anime style.
It's just an old school one. This is the hand drawn anime that
mm-hmm.
every single frame was hand drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Same as the movie Akira.
Which I've yet to see.
What? That's like, oh my god! It's the most beautiful, high quality, like hand drawn anime ever made.
How do you feel that they're considering remaking it but live action? I
would be fine with that if I hadn't seen the Dragon Ball Z live action movie.
Oh, Evolution.
Oh god, no. Honestly, I'm not. I don't judge any movie until I've seen at least a preview of it,
mm-hmm.
and just hearing about a live action thing doesn't make me feel bad for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they said live action SpongeBob, I wouldn't be like, ugh. I'd be like, oh, That's strange, but let's see how it goes. And it got really good reviews.
Which is that? SpongeBob?
Yeah, the newest SpongeBob where they go above the surface and it's all live action-y.
Yeah, I never saw it.
It got really high quality reviews. Like everyone said it was a really good movie.
I'm actually really surprised. I think I heard that they brought back a bunch of the writers to do it, which I would only hope because
I honestly think you should start giving the newer seasons a better chance. Even the newer writers are starting to find their stride.
as long as it's not like trying to watch The Simpsons right now, because
I feel like The Simpsons had a little resurgence about 2 years ago where they were pretty good again.
they did.
You just gotta stick with it. It's gonna be like Adventure Time where some of the seasons are different. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad.
Well, every season has a theme.
But I feel like Adventure Time has not purposeful themes as well. Along with their themes that they have, they also have accidental themes where they're trying to be something and they become something else.
Which is perfectly fine because it works for the show.
The first Adventure Time season was really dungeony.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun. It was real lighthearted, nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
Second season was a little more outside adventure-y, not so much dungeons, not so much focused on any stories, more so just the fun aspects, not so much the dungeon aspect.
Okay.
The third season went a little, I think that was the melancholy season where things got kind of slower.
Okay.
The whole show started to slow down.
I'm having trouble recalling because I've seen there's so many episodes.
Well, okay, so basically each season has its own thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But in one of the seasons, everything slows down and everyone talks about how bad that season was. But going back and watching it, well, people are saying it's like the worst season. Not necessarily bad compared. Yeah, just general views about things. Like
there's always someone that has to gripe about that, but I'm okay with that. It's fine. I don't know. I want to rewatch it all, but it's gonna take time, of course. Speaking of Adventure Time, I'm really excited with where they're going with this show.
Yeah, so like this new season's going back to so last season they made was like going back to the first season where it was kind of adventure-y again, dungeon-y.
Yeah, kind of.
They're trying to recapture the different seasons, and I feel like this season's going to be more the action-y one, and then next season we're probably going to follow another melancholy path, and it's going to be a kind of little.
I feel like they're winding down them because they're starting to come up with like endings to the stories that they've been building up over time. Like they just totally did the whole Marceline segment, and they totally explained her backstory.
Yes, but they never explained. They still have all of her growing up.
Oh, absolutely.
They've shown her as child and as late teens when she starts getting her powers. They don't show any of that middle area. They have the the magic woman path to follow.
Yes.
They have the witch who's still alive, but the elephant's controlling. They have a shitload of paths that Even last season, like there's a bunch of new paths. The Gunter thing could come back.
Orglord
could easily come back. The Comet, with his father exiting existence, could come back, and you don't know it's gone forever.
It's very true.
Like there's so many paths that I feel like they're not closing paths.
I'm okay with his father on the Comet in another existence, just that being the end of his storyline.
That'd be cool too, though. That's a fine thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Either way they go, it's totally cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Finn's rekindling his friendships with the people he's kind of grown apart from.
Yeah.
Like, because he was kind of weird for a bit there, and everyone kind of started spacing.
Well, he's going through puberty.
Yeah, so. But I feel like Bubblegum's going to come back, and there's going to be more love story there eventually.
I don't think so.
I think Flame Princess is gone.
Well, yeah, she's with Cinnamon Bun.
I think they're trying to have her be a villain later on, or not a villain, but more like Ice King, where
just
it's
an
kind
antagonist.
of like an antagonist, kind of like fun, campy villain.
I don't think Finn is going to have a romantic interest in Bubblegum, though. I think they've went down that route, and I think they've done it enough. I think they're going to do something else, or maybe they won't be doing romantic anymore.
Bubblegum's issue with Finn was that he was always too young.
Well, yeah, she's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah, I say, well, obviously, but with him growing up, I feel like they could eventually retouch that.
It's possible.
And have a little play with it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's probably going to lose his arm again.
I look forward to this day if it actually happens.
Because he lost his arm in the main series, and that was like everyone saw it coming. They alluded to it every episode forever.
Oh yeah.
And the what was that? The episode where he went to the Pillow World.
Oh,
that was such a good one.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
I love the part where he's dancing with the pillow, and he's like, well, on my world, we use pillows for sleeping. And she's like, so do we. And she, like, winks at him. It's like, oh, dang! Just don't expect it at all. That was top-notch episode.
That's a heartfelt episode. Also, this animation scene's been going on for a while.
Oh, yeah, dude. This is like they're like 20 minutes long. All the flashbacks are.
Also, Lucy Liu, yeah.
Yeah, oh, and this was like... when she was still
She's just coming up
peaking.
in the world. Oh yeah, when she's peaking, yeah.
Like this is after Charlie's Angels.
This is right around that time.
No, after.
Is it?
This is after.
Okay.
She got famous in Charlie's Angels.
And then they have the second one.
And then they have the second one, and I feel like this is after that.
I feel like it was in the same realm of time. It doesn't matter.
Either way, this is probably one of the most.
Woo, she's something.
In between the brain.
Yeah, right.
That's a
great
good
shot.
shot. That's a good shot right
With
there.
the wiggling of the blood in the brain.
Not even the shot of the gun, because she shot a bullet through his head. And that was a cool thing. But the actual pan that it followed the bullet through his brain, between his two lobes, out the back of his head, and then it stopped as his cranial, like the back of it, I don't know what it's called anymore, just bursts out, and then you can just see the blood and guts everywhere.
It's where the visual cortex is?
No, but I'm talking about the cranial. There's like a term for the bone in the back.
I actually don't know that name.
There's different like bone.
Yeah.
Like technically, it's your skull, but the back of your skull has a specific name.
And
like,
I should know it, and all my neuroscience friends would be very disappointed in me right now, but it's okay.
And now she's still trying to wiggle her big toe.
Oh, she did it.
Yeah, woo!
Foot shot for Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all it is. I mean, it's a great shot, don't get me wrong, but he wants to see her.
And I think it's Dusk Till Dawn where he licks the girl's feet.
I think we referenced that in the last episode.
I know. I want to bring it back because I'm almost positive. All right, I think we've talked about our animes enough. We got to go Hell. We still have not touched on Hell yet.
Well, we're still in heaven.
Oh yeah, we know.
We talked about the staircase.
Okay, so once you're, let's just say, okay, so you've made it to heaven by whatever path you follow. What do you think would be waiting up there?
So, is there a gate? Is there like a line to get in, or do you just walk in and there's like free creating sandbox?
I think you got two things you can go with. One, you're judged at the gate, which I think is what the Bible references. I don't know. I'm not a. I think you actually end up at the gates and you're judged there to go in or down.
That's awful.
Or not in or down, but in or to hell.
I feel like you should be judged as soon as you die.
No, but that's the other option is that you automatically pop wherever you're supposed to go.
I think that's how it should be.
But let's just go with the judge to the gates. Either way, you're gonna.
That makes it even worse. Like you're like, oh, here I go.
So let's just go with the generic TV version. They have a big book of every deed you've ever done. If they're just balancing good deeds versus bad deeds.
So is Santa at the gate with all of your
Santa?
Yeah, it's Santa.
Not your nice teacher. Well, obviously, if we're going based on sins, nearly every person's going to hell either way.
Yeah.
If we're going a more progressive path where it's based on your actual deeds that you've done in your life and how good of a person you were to other people, then a lot more people would actually be judged good, I think.
I would hope so.
I mean, I feel like at least half can be judged as good according to that, whereas bad people assholes aren't bad people. They're just assholes.
Yeah. Because we're assholes.
Yeah, humans are assholes.
Yeah.
We're out for ourselves, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
Doing selfless acts in spite of your assholishness shows good deeds either way. So.
Yeah. So we're being judged by Santa.
Which is an anagram for Satan, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that until
You've
now.
never thought of that?
No.
An anagram is a quick change of letters to spell something else.
Well, no, obviously. I never thought. Well, why would I think about? I've never I never think about anagrams on my spare time.
That's like a really good use of spare time.
It's doing anagrams.
Anagrams are great.
I know they're great for like building up your mental capacity and whatnot.
Okay, so Santa judges you. You're judged to be good. You go through the gates based on your deeds.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's a number count. You're good versus evil.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So you have one more good deed than evil, you can go in.
Yeah.
You have one more evil, you go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in the gates, what's there? It can either be, in my mind, you're going to get there and it's going to be like a big old open field with whatever you want there. Like you said, sandbox it.
Yeah.
Kind of like an open room, you just do whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's a personalized heaven that's already scoped to be your maximum happiness at all times.
Ooh.
So, actually, American Dad did that. They had an episode where...
Who died?
Where actually the apocalypse happened. Everyone died.
Okay.
But Haley and Steve, the daughter and son, raised up to heaven. And when they were up there, they're greeted to their each personal door.
Okay.
And one of the angels walks them to the door, shows them inside. And then they're like, how do I know this is my personal personal heaven, and
Right.
then I think they say something about someone shitting hamburgers. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is mine," and he walks inside. But later on, they're talking because they actually got like raised up in the floaty kind of because the apocalypse happened. God saved whoever was devout.
Yeah.
And then for various reasons, Stan and Francine got left behind because they had sex in church.
Nice.
And that was the sin they committed.
Nice.
It was really, really good episode. So it's actually a two-parter. Really funny one.
Interesting.
So Jesus comes back. Francine starts dating Jesus because Stan tries to sacrifice her.
So this is after the apocalypse, or it's happening at the same time?
It's all kind of at the same time. So apocalypse happens. Everyone's gone. Stan and Francine are left behind. He's yelling at her, blaming her for not getting raised, basically.
Okay.
She leaves him. He sucks fake Jesus' dick. Francine meets real Jesus at a diner.
Oh my god.
Just good episodes.
Yeah.
Later on, though, like it's like flashes forward like 8 or 9 years, and he's got like he's missing an eye and like got a robot hand.
Yeah.
And they're fighting the demons. It's the ultimate war.
Okay.
Whatever. It doesn't show too much of it, but they go to kill Satan, and Stan dies. Yep, Santa. So Stan dies. Stan's also almost Satan and Santa by name. So Stan dies, and Jesus tries, and when he dies, he goes up to heaven.
Yeah.
They kill Satan or whatever for the plot line. I don't really care.
Whatever.
But when he goes up there, he's greeted by his door. He opens the door, and it's the same thing that happens every episode. It just restarts the show.
So
when he walks in the door, he's just greeted by his family.
So heaven is life to him.
Yeah, his life is his heaven.
Oh, that's kind of
so
nice.
it's kind of like a sweet comeback. So
I like that.
So in my mind, that seemed like a really cool way to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I mean, it could just be like a more like Little Nicky, where you're just friends and family are hanging out up there.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a personal heaven, but more like a communal heaven.
So, like, if you have your personal heaven, can you go to other people's personal heavens?
I feel like once you're in your personal heaven, it's like a locked room kind of thing where you wouldn't even notice. Like, I feel like once you're in, your brain's white, so you don't lose your happiness. Because knowing you're in paradise takes away from being in paradise.
Yes, absolutely.
Having all of your needs met and everything you've ever, like...
It would get boring.
You're left with emptiness because you're not achieving.
Right.
So they'd have to kind of drop your memory from that.
Interesting. I agree.
I mean, that's the only logical way to go.
Well, because it would get boring. And you would get...
In community heaven, I feel like you can be more aware of it because there's more people around you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to not think about it. Heaven's kind of a don't think about it thing. If you think about it too much, you kind of...
You poke holes in it.
You poke holes in it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an issue that, like, if you're following just generic reworded Bibles, it's hard to follow what you can... Take it personally. Think about it yourself and make up your own decisions about whatever the world means to you.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's a big old bag of cum.
And then
boogers and cum.
Boogers and cum. Boogers and cum. That's what you need. Some boogers and cum. Oh, I caught up on South Park, by the way.
Good.
Boogers and cum is a song in a newer South Park episode.
This season, what is it, 18? 17?
19. It's 19.
Okay.
It's the best season in a long time.
It's been a while. Like, last season was good with,
No, but it wasn't.
Not as good. Not nearly as good as this season.
Like, I think the last 5-6 seasons, maybe even, like, 8, like, I think it's been, like, a long time since they've had good seasons.
I think they've been, like, whirling up towards this season, because last season had, like, Randy as Lord. I love that whole thing. Lord, Lord, Lord. Lord, Lord. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh my God! Or the Cream Frasier episode 2 seasons ago.
Oh yeah, like there's
with the whole shake weight.
Oh, that was the name.
That was a good episode.
That was so good.
Here's your cab fare. It releases the coins.
I forgot about that. It's such a good episode. Okay, so we've covered hell or heaven. I feel like I kind of agree with you with I like the personal heaven idea. I also like Sandbox.
Sandbox is kind of, but you'd have to be aware of it is heaven, but then you become your own god. So it's kind of like really. I think that if you were to become Sandbox heaven, you're creating your own universe.
Yeah.
And you're God.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You're the omnipotent being in your own universe.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a cool path to take.
But then I don't think like you would care. Like I think you should have your awareness like segmented in some sort of way so that you don't care.
No, it'd have to be partial awareness no matter what the situation.
Yeah, you're aware, but like you're not like fully aware. Like, oh, I'm just doing this for the rest of my life.
Oh, my favorite that I've heard as a belief for all time is that every single person on the planet who has ever lived or ever will live is in fact just God. or Jesus, because they're the same.
Oh yeah, I've
They're
heard
the
this
same,
one.
and then he just travels through each body, slowly over time, living each and every life that has ever been lived.
Seems very selfish.
And then you can, once you become the highest, once you've lived through every single life, I assume you start as the most evil and work your way up. Something like that. That seems like...
Interesting.
So almost like rebirth or reincarnation, but more like you have to earn your way to becoming the omnipotent. So once you're done with everything, the second to last would be actual Jesus.
Yeah.
And then the final one would be sacrificing yourself, which raises you up to omnipotence.
So then, when you're this
According
being,
to this, yeah.
You're each person, do you have to, like, does time matter? Like, because if you're going to be Jesus...
So when you're reborn, you lose all your memories. It's it follows another thing where when you're being reborn, or if you die and you believe in rebirth, you end up in this, like, waiting room of, let's call it, like, limbo, basically, between lives.
Okay. There's other people there?
You can see no, it's only you.
Okay, how boring.
Well, it'd be your own personal, but you can see every life you've ever lived, or every life you ever will live.
That's kind of cool.
Or every kind of form of life. Well, I guess you'd only see the past, not the future.
So basically, you're the avatar.
But you're going to be reborn, and while you're in your waiting room of rebirth, you can see your past lives, register all the knowledge from those, and then once you move on to the next life, that's actually a Buddhist belief too.
Really?
Yeah, because you start out lower or higher based on your deeds in life. So the better, but you have to do them selflessly. So you can't do good deeds to get to the higher plane.
You can't be aware of your selflessness. You just have to do.
Yeah, it's more of a do, not to be seen.
Not for your own betterment.
Yeah. So in Buddhism, once you've achieved enlightenment, as they call it, and you've been able to successfully get to that next level, that's when you basically ascend to their heaven.
Yeah.
So you can't ascend. It's kind of following that Jesus goes through every human, or like the soul of whatever you want to call it. There's only one soul, and it spreads through every body.
Yeah.
But the soul can exist at multiple times, obviously.
Interesting.
So right now we'd have the same soul. I guess that could be a cool path to take too.
Yeah,
it's kind of following its own universal thing.
Yeah, and then they all come together at once.
And
at
that's
the very
what
end.
forms God. Isn't that, I thought that was kind of a cool little concept.
Yeah, I like that.
Like people come up with some clever things that make partial sense, and you kind of, whoa, man.
There's some thinkers out there.
Yeah, some hotheads too.
Yeah, absolutely. So another idea of heaven that I just came up with, because I'm very sure you're aware of the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like when you die, you should jump onto the flying spaghetti monster's back, and everyone else that has ever died is on the flying spaghetti monster's back.
On the spaghetti, ride the spaghetti.
Yeah, or a meatball, whichever you want, and you're hurling into oblivion.
Isn't that what we're already doing? Because in space, you're technically just falling, but we're falling in relativity to everything else, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess Earth is another form of the flying spaghetti monster.
Depending on how you view space and like the relative movement of space,
right.
Technically, we're either all falling straight down, or it's more like a web where you're sitting on it and there's no way to go up or down. But that would be like a 2D universe, and that's seen in 4 dimensions technically.
Like on I can't reference the show.
So I would say because in 2 dimensions, it'd be like if you could view the universe from straight above.
Yeah.
Viewing everything at the same plane.
It'd be planar.
Yeah, it'd be like a planar. It'd be a 2D plane, and you're viewing the universe as a plane.
Yeah.
And we can only register 3D movements because we're on the plane.
Right. Because we live in that span of the universe. So basically, what you're describing is you're in the 4th dimension looking down upon us, and it's flat.
Yes.
That's what you're describing.
Yes. So technically, I feel like the 4th dimension is easy to register in your mind.
Yeah.
In one of 2 ways. It's all of an existence at the same time.
It's just one long string of
time
from beginning to end.
So depending on how you view the 4th dimension, it can either be time or the planar view being able to be inside of it.
Right.
I feel like
the hypercube.
Yeah, exactly. So being a point in the plane and still being able to see the 3 dimensions around you, I feel like is almost the 4th dimension.
Yeah.
But brains can't really comprehend what it would actually.
No, we can never do that. So.
But it makes sense how, because 4th dimension would just basically be a swirling blob of time and space.
What would you look like in the 4th dimension?
I wouldn't look like anything really. It'd more be like kind of like a snake, I guess, depending on if it was based on time.
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be a view of me at all points throughout my time.
Where you get taller, and then you shrink.
Yeah, so there'd be slight deviations.
Yeah.
But it would mostly look like a big old snake.
Yeah.
That's one view that people take on the fourth dimension. It's kind of time.
Yeah.
That's a clever way.
Right.
And then the reason time travel works in the fourth dimension is because you can just kind of place yourself in any timeline.
Right.
But I feel like the problem with that is it wouldn't make sense because there'd have to be a fifth dimensional thing to see the fourth dimension. Just like it has to be, like, or I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like Interstellar.
You'd have to be exactly like Interstellar.
Yeah.
You'd have to be one stage above to see one stage below.
Yeah.
Which is why we can register what 2D looks like, but on a 2D plane it would just look like lines.
Right.
And why on a 3D plane we just look like
shapes.
And on a fourth dimensional plane we'd all look like time. And in the fifth dimensional plane we would look like, I guess, existence.
Yeah, in all forms of existence.
All forms of existence at all times, in all places, in
possibly,
all
or that's the fifth dimension in itself. Like I forget the leveling.
It could just be another point on a graph.
No, yeah, like there's a whole video on this.
Yeah. Oh, I watched that video.
Yeah.
That was such a good video.
I'll put that in the description. It is a decent video.
It's a YouTube video where they try to logic out the planes of existence, and it's really cool.
Like, I don't know how accurate it is, but the way they go about it is very fun and very clear to understand.
It's super easy to follow. It really doesn't take much knowledge about anything to get it. It's like if Bill Nye explained the universe to you.
Which I would be okay with as well.
You get it.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of planes, I said it weird, but in those books I was talking about last time, the Dungeons and Dragons ones, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the planar existence, they follow the planes rule, where there's planes of view, basically layered, and each plane
you could jump to.
You resonate on.
Okay.
So more like the level of your atoms and molecules and all that good shit. Your level of resonance on each plane is what plane you're living on.
Okay.
So by being able to become, so basically that ties into like spirits being on a different plane of existence, which is why they're hard to see.
Yeah.
But they can still act with things because they're only one plane above or below because their resonance is only a little off.
Interesting.
So this is just, speaking of planes, this could be another fourth dimension
video,
where it's all the planes smashed into one.
Gotcha.
It's basically
planes,
I
like that too.
I say all planes of existence at the same exact point.
You're right.
Which can also be the fourth dimension, then fifth dimension would be time with planes, depending on what your views are on.
Have you seen Steins Gate?
Steins Gate? No.
It's an anime. It came out like 3 or 4 years ago. It's based on one of those role-playing video games. I forget what they're called. Where you it's a text-based adventure.
Oh, I love those.
Like
Zork.
I've never played that.
That's the original.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
And Steins Gate is a great time traveling story about these kids who kind of stumble upon time travel in like kind of a childish way, and they start changing events, and they keep getting further and further away from their original selves, and then they get to a point where a character starts dying.
So it's more they're not following their own timelines.
No,
so it's more taking branching timelines off, and you can enter different branches.
Right. Yeah. It's
and the further away you get, the harder back it is to get.
Exactly.
There's more. Like the farther up a staircase you go, the longer it's going to take to get back down.
Yeah, and I would recommend watching this show because
that follows a style of belief I like. That's cool.
It's like the first couple episodes are just like they're kind of childish, but it takes a very dark turn the middle of the series, and then you get sucked in for the rest.
Oh, I think I could appreciate it if it followed the view that we live through our longest timeline. Us as a human lives through our longest physical possible timeline. So through all our timelines, there's only you can only register obviously the one you live the longest.
Yeah.
But in my mind, there's no other timeline that lives longer. Like that's this. View.
I would hope so. Yeah.
That's this view. So basically, if you get in a car accident and die,
yeah,
you don't ever feel that or register your death
because there's another timeline.
Because there's another timeline that you're physically on. So
right.
In fourth dimension to be all timelines put together.
Yeah.
Back to the fourth dimension shit. No, so all timelines from all branches together, and then no matter what, your consciousness will always be at the farthest point possible.
Yeah.
Even though you can register yourself going through it, you can only ever register how far you can go through it. So people who die could technically not die, according to this, in that in another timeline they're still alive until the very end, at which point nothing matters because we're all dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you could get the fourth dimension, you could see all beings living forever. or as far as each lifespan would go.
Mhm.
And that's cool.
I enjoy that very much so.
Very much speculation.
I'm okay with that though because we don't know the answer anyways. I do think you should watch Steins Gate.
No, that sounds like something I'd really good.
It's actually really good. It's only 26 episodes and a movie. I think they're making.
Oh, that's
movie.
like the perfect amount of time for
Yeah.
2 seasons and a movie. Perfect.
Yeah. And I think they're setting up to do another series pretty soon because they're coming out with another game or something. I don't know. I'm excited.
And so that ends part 1 of this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed going on this extremely tangential journey of tires, anime, heaven, and dimensional jumping. Any recommendations can be found in the description, as well as the video on 10 Dimensions with its brilliant teaching and eloquent animation. Will we ever make it to hell? Find out next time on Stop That.